be restored there before things get even worse. So just watch over folks, and may they know your love and guidance. In Jesus' name, amen.
Today, our provincial government has lifted the COVID regulations we've been living with for the last 2 years or so. It allows us to be in here with no masks, and we are able to have the public in here with us. Some believe this should have happened sooner, but there are those that are worried and wish the regulations stayed in place longer, and they'll continue to wear their mask and distance themselves. I ask that you are kind and respectful to one another as we continue to work through these challenging times. And we would like to acknowledge the time, effort, and dedication of two very special people tonight. Andrew Jones and Dale Parker have served on our fire department for the last 30 years, signing up in the same week, I'm told. But now it's time to move on, and they are off to write new chapters of the journey. And we would wish them well in their retirement from the fire department. I know they'll be missed, and I would ask that if you see Andrew or Dale around, you'd make a point of thanking them as we thank them for all they have done. This island is a better and safer place to live because of their effort. Number 4 is disclosure of conflict of interest. Hearing none, we'll move to item 5, adoption of minutes for the regular council meeting February 7th and the special meeting February 23rd, 2022.
Mayor, I would move, or Mr. Deputy, I don't have, Mr. Chair.
There we go. Deputy Mayor, I would think.
I would move that we adopt the minutes as circulated.
You heard the motion. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Russell, any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Hearing none. Pass. Number 7 is our RCMP report.
Additions.
Oh, sorry, additions. We do have a couple additions. Thrifty expansion. We'd like to put in at 11.2. And we have another bill to put in under general operating, 17.1.
What is that?
It's a bill for snow plowing
For February.
for February. Dutchman, yeah. There we go. Need a motion?
258750.
We have a motion to add them? We have a seconder? Any questions? All in favor? Contrary minded? It's passed. Now we can go to Corporal Stewart, the RCMP report.
Good evening, Deputy Mayor and councillors. It's good to be back in person and kind of feels a little funny with nothing on my face here, but I'm okay with that. As normal, I'll go through some of what we've been busy with this past month, since the last council meeting. Our file count since February 7th, we responded to 46 complaints. The last year's file count for that same time period was 37, so increase of about 10. We had 4 assault investigations going on, 2 break and enter files with one file. We had charges laid on that matter. 1 forcible confinement domestic assault with charges laid there, 4 fraud investigations, 3 mental health calls, 10 traffic related calls, and we did have 1 stolen 4-wheeler that was recovered here. Of note, that's something that I wanted to bring up. This stems from a file that was back in October of 2019, where Danny Obey was charged and convicted of assault, police officer, resist arrest, and possession of cocaine for the purpose of trafficking. He was finally sentenced this past month to 21 months in jail. So I just thought I would bring that up. Aside from that, I just wanted to remind the council and the public that some businesses are still requiring and asking for mask usage and things like that. So just be cognizant of that and respectful of their wishes. That does include some federal or all federal organizations and buildings are still requiring mask usage at this time. That includes the RCMP detachment. So if you need to stop in for whatever reason, just reminder to bring a mask. We do have some there in case you forget, but that's what we're asking for at this time until things change. But aside from that, if you guys have any questions.
Pretty quiet bunch here tonight.
That's okay.
We're missing the rowdy ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Number 8, business arising from minutes. Hearing nothing, we'll move on to number 9, old business. Village vaccine policy. Councillor Philman Green to speak.
Okay, whereas the province today looks October, I would like to make a motion that we suspend that policy pending a resurgence in the necessity for it.
You heard the motion? Don't forget to, yeah. You heard the motion? Do we have a seconder? Any questions? No questions? All in favor? Contrary minded? Passed. Nine two, land rezoning. Dutchman Contracting Limited, CAO Chris Rayner to address. Our CAO is not with us tonight. He's supposedly looking for flights to get out of Florida. Supposedly. We'll give him the benefit of a doubt.
Okay, I guess I would like to move that in lieu of in light of the CAO not being here to bring us this information, we table this until our 8th meeting.
I'll second that.
Questions? All in favor? Contrary minded? Very good. 10-minute open session. No speakers for that. We have number 11 is the Manan Tourist Board Summer Proposal. Jennifer O'Neill to present.
Hello, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, and councilors. Good evening to you all. My name is Jennifer O'Neill, and I'm here on behalf of Manan Island Tourism. As many of you know, I'm a local small business owner, and I'm passionate about customer service and tourism. I love hearing stories of how travelers found themselves on our little island in the bay. Manan Island Tourism was formed after a meeting with an island marketing group in June of 2021, and the consensus was that there was a need to form a group to continue the actions of the GMTA, which is Manan Tourism Association, and the Chamber of Commerce, which has since phased out. A few of us from that meeting formed a working group to see what we could do to better service our community and the people who come to visit. GMIT is made up of 5 individuals from varying backgrounds. We are united by one common goal: to promote and foster tourism programs for our visitors during the peak tourism season. Our mandate includes encouragement of and support for elevating the quality of service in our hospitality establishments, retail, and service facilities year-round. GMIT plans to provide additional services and programs to help develop engaging tourism and community initiatives. The goal, ultimately, is to enhance the experience of visitors and our year-round residents. These initiatives help contribute to community growth and help to establish a sense of place. I've prepared for you all a proposal and have attached promotional material which outlines just one of our exciting programs for our visitors, rolling out just in time for our 2022 tourist season on Manan Island. The idea is to get people engaged in local sites and hidden gems on the island. The program will combine a variety of tourism elements from every sector: heritage, arts, culture, ecotourism, culinary, local hotspots, and natural sites. The variety will enhance each traveler's experience to our island and potentially engage them in a longer stay or to come back for a return experience. We are exploring the niche of experiential tourism, which brings visitors to a location and engages them with experiences that are memorable and thought-provoking. Beginning this summer of 2022, we're rolling out a ticket fund program. I don't know who needs to see it, but here it is. It's called the Manan Island Experience. Guests will arrive at the Visitor Information Center and purchase an adventure ticket by donation. The pass has 9 squares like a bingo card and is meant to entice travelers to visit various locations throughout the island. These squares will include places such as cultural sites, landmarks, food and beverage, and retail locations. Once the card has been completed, the guest is encouraged to drop it off at one of the 2 ballot boxes located at the VIC and at the Coastal Transport Ticket Office. At the close of the season, we'll draw a ticket for a prize package, including gifts and donations from various island businesses. The winner ultimately will earn a fully inclusive Manan Island experience, including accommodation, ferry passes, gas cards, gift cards, and more. The information gathered on the submitted ballot will assist in tracking purposes to gain an understanding of our visitor demographic and in turn aid in our development of target-specific marketing moving forward. There has been a growing demand around cultural exploration and activity-based travel experiences, and by providing an engaging program such as this, we can tap into that experiential tourism market. People who are seeking entertaining things to do while on vacation. They are searching for arts, culture, culinary experiences, and immersive components. We feel this program checks all the boxes of this type of traveler. Using the data from 2021 tourist season, there's been a record number of visitors to the island, reaching up to 10,000 per month in each of July and in August. That said, we will require 8,000 print copies of the page because we have created the page design to accommodate 4 playing cards, and that will yield 32,000 copies. The cost of printing is much more attainable this way, and we'll be able to monitor how many people actually participated. Social media marketing and advertising blasts will cost nothing unless we are able to use the platform to advertise in a larger radius. And there's a cost associated with this. Advertising ranges from $19 to $199 and beyond. If this opportunity is funded, we'll begin with Facebook and Instagram advertising in metropolitan areas along the eastern seaboard and into Quebec and Ontario. The program I used to create the posters, you all have a copy of that, will print and deliver 21 inches by 28 inches vivid colored posters for a cost of $148 for 20 copies. We anticipate needing more than 20. As a group, we are passionate about tourism and the economic influence it has on our small community. Being a newly formed and registered business, our funding comes exclusively from membership affiliates, donors, and investors. It is important to collaborate with you, our village council, to make a positive impact on our tourism industry moving forward. The Manan Island experience is just the tip of the iceberg that we've been working on. By supporting our group, it will show the residents of our community that the future of tourism is an important piece of this council's agenda. We look forward to working with you on some of our projects and encourage feedback and advice should you be interested. We look forward to your encouraging support financially and collaboratively. Thank you so much for your time this evening. What an opportunity this is. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, I don't know if I need to ask if there's any questions or anything, but I certainly can answer a few, maybe.
Anyone?
Well, I just think it's pretty impressive what you guys put together here for your smaller group of people that you've got together there, but you guys ran this in a big way. And it's the first positive thing I've seen towards the industry in recent memory. So kudos to you and good luck. I'll support you any way I can.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Do you have a value on the economic value of the tourism industry on Grand Manan? No idea. You'll figure that out.
It's huge,
Yes,
and I'm sure we can work some numbers on that. But knowing it can be bigger and better than it ever has been. So,
congratulations.
Thank you.
Good job. Good job.
As chair of the Arts and Culture Committee, I think this is fabulous because it just brings more in that area too. So I'm excited about this as well.
Good. Wonderful. Thank you. Anyone else?
Just curious as to, I've heard some rumblings about your group. Was invited to a meeting, but I had conflicting schedule, didn't get there. Do you, your number of members, are you getting most of the tourist operators buying in and joining your group, or is it a slow uphill battle with that?
It's a slow uphill battle, actually. We have sent out a few invites to some operators and different things, and we've had the email lists of previous groups like this one. Again, we haven't done our membership blast just yet. We have let them know that we're a newly formed group. Some of you may have received those emails, but we're a newly formed group. You know, this is what's happening. This is, when we had one of our meetings, a few of the people said, well, show us the stuff, you know, like show us what you're all about. So this, I think, is the proof in the pudding, basically, that, you know, we're not kidding around. You know, we're here to make an impact. We want to be able to bring tourists here. We want to be able to study what they're doing here, what age group they're from, where they come from, how they heard about us. So, you know, it's an always changing, ever learning, you know, project, I guess. But the membership will come, I think, once people see that we're for real. It's been a really trying time with, you know, the older group phasing out and us just coming into play. You know, but we're having meetings every week virtually, and throughout the summer we do have one public meeting throughout every month, because it's just easier to work in smaller groups, as you might know, too, just to get things going, and then invite the public to those monthly meetings to get some ideas together. So
You mentioned you're looking for, hope for some financial support from the village. Do you have any idea or ballpark numbers now, or does it depend on membership and investors, and the village kind of comes in and picks up what's left, or do you have, I didn't have time to get through this, unfortunately.
We do have a financial request to be able to get this, just this program funded.
That's what they
Yeah.
offer for the village? Okay. So that's Schedule A?
Schedule A, the financial details, yes.
Okay, and that's what you're looking for,
The,
financial support from the village?
yes, the full total is $2,066.25. That
Okay.
would get us up and running with this program, the marketing material, the printed tickets, and the Facebook, on the higher side of the Facebook advertising to get us in the larger radiuses of those cities.
Okay, thank you.
I don't have a whole lot to say. I'm just excited that we finally have a tourism association or committee that's actually put some money into it.
Thank you. We're excited too. I have a question for you folks, if you know, just a side question. Do you know when the VIC will be open this year?
We usually open it from our students mainly, the first of June. But
Yep.
usually sometimes we have some ladies that work there and they can start in May.
Okay,
Depends on funding and
Yep.
interest.
exactly. We're just trying to gauge when we'll finally roll out the tickets and have them in place, so.
We've been looking at a start date of May 30th, if we can make that possible.
Okay, that would give us May 30th to September 30th as a nice window to be able to see how many travelers are coming, how many are grabbing these and going with them, so. Mhm.
So are we asking for this money now, or you're just putting it out there?
I'm just putting it out there. We do need this, need this funded, so anything that we can work towards is appreciated, absolutely, any contribution.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you,
Uh,
appreciate it.
We appreciate having you here, and we'll stay in touch and
Absolutely.
keep the discussion going and see what we can do. 11:02. I believe Tammy and Vivian.
Mayor, Deputy Mayor, and councilors. And first of all, we want to thank you for this opportunity to share our need and our heart. And more important, though, we want to thank you for your unwavering support of Thrifties since 2010. 12 years now it's been in operation. And your unwavering support has made a tremendous difference. It's not taken for granted, it's greatly appreciated, and enables us to give more of our funds that we raise to meet island needs. For 12 years, Islanders also have caught the vision and donated generously of their household goods, clothing, and a variety of other items. And we are so thankful for their support. Thrifties could not exist as it does if it weren't for that. But those donations have to be dealt with immediately after they are donated, due to lack of room to store them at Thrifties. On a regular basis, when the store is closed to shoppers, volunteers sort and pack items for later use. Then those tubs and boxes must be loaded into a vehicle and transported to our storage unit at Cary Tire. This happens 2 or 3 times a week, 46 to 48 weeks a year. At least 8 times yearly, we do a large change of inventory, which is done in 2 stages. First of all, before we can take any new inventory up to Thrifties, the old has to be packed up, loaded into a vehicle, and transported to my shed, where it stays until somebody generously takes it to the mainland to a thrift stop there. And it's not a few bags and boxes, it's like a truck and a half load to 2 truckloads. After it's cleaned out of the old inventory, a group of 3 or 4 men come to the storage unit with trucks and transport 40-plus tubs of inventory back to Thrifty's to be displayed. At Christmas time, it's 150 banana boxes, plus Christmas trees and big toys and etc. Often in weather that's really not pleasant. Back at the store, as we empty the banana boxes, they are loaded into a vehicle and transported to Norman Neves' garage, where they are stored until we access them again on a weekly basis to pack Christmas items for the next year. Hence, the reason that we are here. To request permission to build a storage unit directly behind Thrifty's to reduce the time, effort, and energy required to move that inventory, not just once, but twice. And so now you know the challenge we face weekly. It's a constant juggling act. And it's possible only because of unwavering dedication of our volunteers, the vast majority of whom are over 70. I probably shouldn't have said that out loud. It's unlikely that we can build a shed big enough to eliminate all of the locations we work out of now. However, a storage shed on site large enough to house our constantly changing inventory would reduce our workload dramatically. Thank you for hearing us.
It's hard to imagine how much changing from one place to another when you think that they do it week after week after week. What we're proposing is a 12-foot by 30-foot storage building to put on the end of Thrifty's towards the water. The building is 30 feet wide, and if we could go out 12 feet, if we could have 40 feet, it would be even better, because as she says, more is good. We're asking for permission if we can do this. There are, of course, many questions that will go with that. Is it a building that is attached, as in a 3-sided building and attach it to Thrifty's, or is it a separate building altogether? And these are questions that we can put towards you to see what you're willing to do, what you think is right and good and best. We do not need to insulate this building. We're not looking to put windows in it either. It is simply for storage. We would like to put a door through Thrifty's into this new building, so it's just walk right straight out into it. And on the end towards Seal Cove, put a garage door for bringing things with trucks in and out. It would save countless hours to do this. That's it in a nutshell, and we're open to questions, as I'm sure there are many. There is 11 feet behind the building, and Manzer has already said it is fine, and he is okay 12 feet. So that has already been, he was here last week, and he looked it over, and he has already said that that would be okay for that aspect of it.
Any questions? Okay, there we go.
Thank you. I always need to be told what to do. I take it from what I'm hearing, you're not asking us for a financial contribution, you're asking for permission to put something there. My question, I guess, if that is true, is when timeline, construction, what the, input on the appearance so that it aesthetically matches the existing, and there's a few issues like that. We'd probably want maybe a sketch of what, not an artist rendition necessarily, but of what you're talking about.
Certainly. We agree with that. We would, if permission is granted, then we would like to sit down with a couple, whoever, and come up with the agreeable workings of this.
Maybe this would be a job for the finance and property people?
I think that's a good idea.
Okay. Why don't we hand this off to them? They can get in touch with you, and you can work this out.
Sounds good.
And that will be me.
That's you.
Okay. And I live right beside Vivian,
Yeah.
so it's not a, yes. So we'll add that to our, in fact, I got a report to make. I'm just going to add another item on my report tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim.
And I support your idea, by the way.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Coach. I don't believe we have anything for 12 or 13. So we'll move to 14, new business, trash barrel tenders.
Okay, so Chris is in here.
We have to put our trash barrel tenders out so that we can award them at the May meeting. We're a week late with our meeting this month, so it's only going to give us a couple weeks, but I think we'll be okay. So we just have to give you guys information about what we're doing. So we are going to put that out tomorrow until April 1st, and then we'll open them at the April meeting and discuss them and award them. So we don't need a motion, it's just information.
We
Okay.
have that, copy of that, what we have there.
Yep.
It's not in the packet.
It's not in the package. Nope, we're just giving you, but I'll make you a copy. Yep, for sure.
Is frequency included in that?
I don't think in our trash barrel tender it's not, is it?
What's that?
The 3 from the sea?
I
He
don't
didn't do
know.
that last year, did he? The guy who did our trash
He never
barrels?
did that last year.
But it was going to be included in his duties this year.
Oh, it was. Okay, we'll put it on our list then. Yep.
Just added a supplement.
Yeah. And are you putting that at Dark Harbor and at the North Head?
Yeah, 3 different places.
3 different places? Where was the third
We'll
one?
get together.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So any questions on that? That's just information. We do it every year.
If we're not going to award it till May, why are we
I'm-
cutting it off on April 1st?
I meant to
where
say
we're-
April. I'm sorry. The April meeting. We'll award it at the April meeting.
Oh,
Starts
okay.
in May.
Now that's starting to make more sense.
Sorry, when I said April again, I was like, I think I said May before.
Yes, you
So, yeah, that's
Okay.
right.
And is 14-2,
Yes, the North Head Cemetery mowing. Chris was going to speak on this also. They will need to start mowing in May, so we're going to put this out until April 1st at 2 PM for tenders. They'll bring them in and we'll award it at the April 4th meeting for the North Head Cemetery mowing contract for the year. So that's just information also.
no questions? We'll move to 14-3, arts and culture. I believe Councilor Brown has some good news.
I have some great news. So we were really pleased with as many entries as we had in our contest, 37 in all, which I'm really happy with. Alyssa took the emails and the entries that were hand-delivered and composed a list in the order that they came in. The committee then individually picked their top 4, listing first to fourth. Each pick was scored. First pick was scored 4 points, second pick was scored 3 points, etc. At the end result, Island Fest is the name of our new Island Festival, and the winner is Luke Morse. Congratulations, Luke. You can pick up your prize at the village office, and we thank everyone who participated in this competition.
Thank you. Any questions or anything? Moving on, 14-4, CAO letter of offer. Councilor Green to address.
Okay, it's, Why don't I just set that over there and you push it for me? That would save time. As I think most everyone is aware, we've been going through the process of selecting a new CAO since Rob's retirement. The process is getting down to the final strokes. Putting, I guess we're on the green and putting here now. At the minutes of one of the meetings we approved, I can't remember what date it was now, the motion was to make the offer to Chris Rayner. So what we've had after that, the process is the Human Relations Group we've been working with, them and the Personnel Committee drafted a letter of offer for Chris. And that's been circulated to council, and everybody has read it. And we had a couple feedbacks on it, and it was basically typos or like page 1 it says Chief Administration Officer in the document, and it should be administrative. And in the salary, it should say paid in front of weekly. So other than that, the intent of the letter, there's no real changes to it. So what I'm looking for tonight is a motion from council. I guess maybe I should make it, shouldn't I? I move that council authorize either the mayor or deputy mayor to sign the letter of offer on behalf of the village and present it to Chris for his acceptance or perusal, I guess.
Heard the motion. Do we have a seconder? Mr. Russell, questions? No questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Hearing none? 14.5, Manan Library Board. As I'm taking care of this one, I should turn that on. Manan Library Board, they're looking for approval to have Ann Wetzel join their board of trustees. Just need a motion for that, if we could. I make that motion. Do we have a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Greenlaw. Questions? All in favor? Aye. Contrary minded? Passed. 14.6, Ukrainian relief effort. CAO Chris Rayner was to speak on that. Very good. Do we have a seconder?
I'll second that.
Take your pick. Okay. Questions? All in favor? Contrary minded? Hearing none, that'll be tabled till next month. 14.7, Grand Manan Adventure Schedule, Dangerous Goods Crossing. Councillor Jordy Layden, you're up.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, councilors. Everybody knows we've had an ongoing problem with our. We've worked on this since one of the very first things we've done as a council, as far as I've been involved in. And I guess we're finally, we've looked at every avenue, we've done anything we can actually do. And at the end of the day, the province isn't willing to give us any extra. Sorry. Oh, I can't do that again. Anyway, the current schedule is the second full weekend of the month. The way that works out is there's a gap 3 times a year where the way that the calendar falls, that instead of waiting like a couple days for the dangerous goods trip, which would be coming up that weekend, they have to roll it over to the next weekend, which is gives you 7 to 9 days is what it's working out now without any Supreme. So we've looked at every avenue there is. This is the only reason, this is the only way I guess we can pull this off, and we need to make a motion, or I'd like to see The dangerous goods trip every fourth week, starting with, we had a dangerous goods trip last Saturday and Sunday night. We'd like to have that continue on from then every fourth week. The province is on board with that. I've talked with the rec director. As long as they know the schedule, there's no problem with getting kids back and forth. It shouldn't bother anybody's schedule that bad. So I guess I'd like to make a motion that we request the province to change the current winter dangerous schedule to every fourth weekend starting on retroactively March 13th. And I guess that's it, really. It's in a nutshell.
You heard the
The summer
motion?
schedule, there's no issue in the summer schedule. The dangerous goods every 2 weeks. We have 2 ships, and there's never an issue. This is just the winter schedule that would be affected.
You've heard the motion. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Greenlaw. Questions?
I know. Yes, sir.
Every 4 weeks, does that satisfy the gas requirements and the propane?
Almost.
Is everyone happy?
And Matt is thrilled if we can pull this off.
Okay.
There's
Yeah, he's
there's
the
a
key.
small gap 2 days. Like right now, it would be a small gap 2 days, but when he runs out of fuel on Thursday and the dangerous goods trip isn't that weekend, but the next
Yes.
one, then you got like 9 days
Yeah.
that we have to wait, and it's happening every couple of 3 months, right? So I think it's the easy way out of everybody's
Actually,
happy.
I come over Saturday night on the dangerous goods. I couldn't believe the number of propane trucks,
Yeah.
tanks that come on this island.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
It's
that,
a busy
there was
crowd.
all
It's
kinds
busy.
of gas, the boat was full. I think there was maybe 3 or 4 vehicles like mine, small trucks, and the rest of the bottom deck was full of dangerous goods. I didn't know
Yeah,
there was that
yeah.
kind of volume.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is, it's crazy.
Yeah,
And it's just getting bigger.
Yeah,
I mean, we'll
yeah.
come back to this problem eventually again. We're never going to
Yeah.
fix it until we get a new ship, but
thank you.
Any other questions? Who's going to be mad about this?
not one soul.
Not one soul?
Not one soul.
Excellent. Why didn't we do this sooner?
I know. Well, we're taking 3 trips out of the traveling public's normal schedule, right?
Right.
But at the end of the day, we need to keep our economy moving forward.
Very good. All in favor?
Right.
Contrary minded? Passed. 15, committee reports. Recreation Director report. He's sunning himself, working on his tan, so we'll wait till next month. Finance and Properties. Councillor Russell.
Good evening. Finance and Properties met last week for the first time in quite a while. COVID has really played havoc with trying to get together. What I did to get ready for the meeting, I went back through all my files since we first sat at this table, and I come up with 13 items on our plate, in the Finance and Properties plate. 12 of them or 10 of them are primarily properties issues, all with a financial overtone, and 3 are primarily financial with some property overtones. I just mentioned 2 or 3. One is the Asset Management Report, which we spent quite a bit of money on to develop a couple of years ago. That still hasn't been updated, and I've talked to CO Chris, and he has some action plans on that. Another thing is last fall or spring? I can't remember now, but we met with our 4 primary service providers, Scotia McLeod Investments, Scotia Bank for our banking, Intact Insurance / Manan Insurance for our insurance policy, and Assumption Life, who does our benefit programs primarily for staff. We've looked after the enhancements in the insurance policy. That's pretty well looked after. There was only one small thing with Assumption, and that was just a wording. And what we agreed the other day was, with respect to the enhancements and there were enhancements identified with Scotia McLeod and Scotia Bank, that we would wait a while to see what's happening with our banking. In case we are with another bank, rather than go through the process. These are all small enhancements that would lead to more efficiencies, but we've been working that way for a long time, and a couple of more months won't matter. So we're going to just table that to see where this bank closure leads us. In the previous, I think at last meeting, Chris mentioned some, in our insurance program, there's several seminars available to us free. And we were just waiting for some details. We now have those details of what's available. I've been through them. I think there's quite a few that would help our staff, make us more efficient, and maybe some of the members, council members, would be interested, with that. So Chris will have more on that on the next meeting. I actually had Thrifties on the list, and because at one time we were going to do a rush job there, and we decided not to, and tonight I was happy to put it back on the list. So Thrifties are one of the 13. And I think another thing that we really have to look at is expanding our fitness center. There's a great interest in the fitness center. We've had a lot of comments that it needs to be expanded. So I think I'm not going, and there's some other things where contracts are coming up. But I think this spring, the Finance and Properties Committee, and next, because it all ends up at this table, we're going to make a real concerted run to get some of these things finalized. Just an observation, things seem to get on our committee plates quite quickly, but they don't seem to fall off quickly. Not like my cookies at home. They come off the plate pretty quick, but they don't seem to happen here that quick. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Russell. 15.3, Solid Waste Committee Report. Councilor Greenlaw to report.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor, councilors. I'm reading a report from that Trish forwarded to me to update you on what has been happening in the last few weeks at the transfer station. The equipment has arrived and lobster traps are disappearing. There is a slideshow to show everyone the progress that we've made. The equipment is here to crush and wrap the traps. The cubes are being loaded on trucks and taken to a recycling facility. Each block of crushed traps is approximately 1 ton. The load of cubes per truck per truckload is 28, and as of Wednesday, 7 loads have been taken away, with approximately 20 more loads to go. When these traps hit the mainland, they are taken to the Port of St. John and go through a 6,000 horsepower shredder they have permanently set up there. The first pick is an aerial shot taken before any were removed, and the final shot is what it looks like at the moment. This was all made possible by grants from the government and getting the coordination of a lot of people on the ground, including Sonia Smith and her group for getting the funding to get the project off the ground, and Bill for helping coordinate the trucking side of it. And I'd like to ask that maybe we put these photos up on our Facebook page as well. That's it.
Thank you. That's quite a dent in things.
That's a wild dent in things,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's a
That's
spectacular program.
Wonderful. Number 16, bylaws. Councilor Greenlaw, you're up again.
Yes. The Planning Advisory Committee of Manan met to review 2 proposed bylaws as required by the Community Planning Act of New Brunswick. There were a couple of recommendations brought forth. Under bylaw number 5422, a motion was put forth by Trish Toll and seconded by Susan Ballantyne that the proposed bylaw include a definition for recreation as would be administered under this bylaw. Under bylaw 55-22, a motion was put forth to clarify the meaning of the word mandate as described in section 1A. The PAC Committee of Grand Manan requests that the Village of Grand Manan's Mayor and Council review the findings put forth by the PAC on their February 23rd meeting for bylaw number 5422 and 55, or bylaw number 5522.
So we just have to put that in the papers again?
Do we need a motion on that one?
We need a motion to accept, okay.
So I'd make a motion that we make those adjustments and put it in the paper again?
Do we have a second? Do you have a question?
Oh,
Well, we'll wait till we have the motion second.
Okay. Do we have a seconder?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Councillor Leedon. Questions?
Okay, I understand the PAC does have a role to play in land use planning and that, but I'm questioning what their role is in these bylaws.
from what I understand, all bylaws are to be passed through the PAC. How it was explained to me.
Well. That's bylaws that we pass under the Community Planning Act.
Right.
Go to the PAC, because that's land use planning.
Mm-hmm.
I question why these bylaws, which are not done under the Community Planning Act.
I think the Code of Conduct is under Community Planning Act, I believe. Either community plan, or maybe it's local governance.
Local governance Act.
Local governance.
So, no, I'm just, I should have got a hold of you when I saw that
No.
on the weekend, and I didn't. I thought, why are we commenting on that? I mean, it's got,
And I'd need more clarification from Chris and from Manzer, who originally brought it up to me.
yeah. But any bylaw we pass under the Community Planning Act where we don't ask the PAC for their feedback,
Mm-hmm.
and we go ahead without it, I mean, they have a time limit, they have 30 days to respond to us, and if they don't, we can ignore them.
Right.
But I don't understand why we're asking them about this bylaw, or these two bylaws, I really don't.
I can find out more when Chris gets back.
So we have this motion to deal with. Oh, Councillor Russell?
I support Councillor Philman. I'm totally confused, and I need a whole lot more information before I can do any more with this. I mean, I have no idea why PAC are involved, and I didn't go through the, right, but it just, I just can't imagine it, but I'm not even close to moving forward with this one.
Community Planning Act, Section 110 and 111 basically lays out that, but that's about zoning and that type of thing, not that you can't talk out of school, you know, like that we're sworn to secrecy and all that type of thing on certain things.
Is there any way to table this until we get the CAO back and have more information for the next meeting?
We've got a motion on the table, though.
A motion to table, though, is always in order.
Okay, very good. Is that what you're doing?
Yes.
Second.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Okay. Got all that? You're quick. 17, approval to pay the following invoices out of the general operating fund. Dutchman Contracting.
No, we voted to table it, so when we come back, all we have to do is, if we bring that back, it's already been moved and seconded.
Bring that motion back.
And it's just a vote.
Mhm.
And if we have to amend something, like those definitions, we have to amend that, and that has to be done before it's adopted.
Okay. Okay. 17, approval to pay the following invoices of the general operating fund, Dutchman Contracting, December snow removal, $1,759.50, Dutchman Contracting, January, snow removal, $3,346.50, Branch Design, new logo, $2,070. Beers Neal PC 2021 audit $6,325. Home Hardware Airport $2,694. And Dutchman for the February snow removal $2,587.50.
I make a motion that these bills be paid. Is that
Out of the general.
out of the general operating fund?
Very good, you heard the motion. Councilor Greenlaw seconds it. Questions?
Questions? On the branch design, is that a partial payment?
Yes, they sent that to us just after our last meeting. That's our first payment to them to get things started for our web,
Okay, thank you.
or our logo.
And for the Beers Neal, the 2021 audit, is that the final payment for?
That's the first payment. We're just getting started. They're working on it now. That's
Okay,
just their first part of their bill.
okay, thank you.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion passed. Okay, nothing for closed session or 20. Okay, our next regular council meeting will be here at the Grand Manan Community Center, April 4th, 2020 at 7:30. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I move.
So moved. Thank you very much.